Hello! Mars is in Capricorn as of Monday. This energy, as always, I'm always excited when a new energy comes around because it's the next step in the journey, the next chapter. And so with Mars, we're now focused on getting stuff done. We're able to majorly focus more than we were able to before on tangible, practical goals. Mars in Sagittarius, which we've had for about the last 6 weeks, is wonderful for a lot of reasons, of course, but it is scattered. We can focus so much on play, and when it comes to reaching our goals, it can be difficult. Or even, it's not even necessarily play. We might just have a lot of stuff that we're focused on. It's difficult to just like take one thing, take the football to the end zone, just like that one thing, that one goal. So I think this is something that is really helpful considering we've had so much Capricorn energy and so much Aquarius energy, so much Saturn energy in general. And we have Mercury retrograde as well still, as well as Venus retrograde. Mercury has gone into Capricorn. It's retrograded back from Aquarius into Capricorn. So I think it's good to make sure that we're not being too serious, that we're not focusing too much on what we have to do and our goals and just business. We want to make sure that we're balancing this with still enjoying ourselves, still enjoying life, not becoming obsessed with our goals. We do want to keep everything in balance, of course, but this is a time period of focusing on what needs to get done and moving forward, and it's really exciting. And I think, again, we have so much Saturn energy. We have, as I was saying, Mercury and Venus and Mars. The Sun is in Aquarius, and Sun and Saturn are actually getting closer in a conjunction over the course of the next 8 days. In about 8 days, it'll be directly conjunct. So for all of us, there's a major focus on again, we don't want to be too serious. We don't want to take ourselves or life too seriously, but at the same time, we do need to be serious about what we are striving to accomplish, how we are striving to grow, and what goals we're seeking to achieve, and how we're seeking to develop ourselves and our abilities, because there is a major focus on that. And it's not just about right here and for the near future, for the next month or so. It's also about, again, the long-term vision of our lives, as we've been talking about for this last year, with transiting Saturn being in the realm of space known as Aquarius. There's been a major focus on looking at and orienting ourselves towards the long-term visions of our lives, how we want to bring out the best in ourselves as individuals to be able to contribute the best of what we could possibly contribute to the collective of humanity over the next, really like the next 29, 30 years. It'll be about another, more like 28, 29 years. Before Saturn is in Aquarius again. So this is a great opportunity for all of us right here, right now, to focus on, okay, what are my long-term goals? How do I make progress on them right here, right now? As much as there's the Aquarian focus on the future, especially since Mercury went retrograde back into the realm of space known as Capricorn, and Mars is now in Capricorn, really the focus is on, okay, great, I have my long-term orientation. We've had that for the last 2 weeks, I want to say, something like that, since Mercury's been in Aquarius, something like that. But now the focus is a little bit more on the nuts and bolts, the foundation, the practical work. So I think that if we're embracing that, everything else in life is going to get easier. Even with Venus retrograde, our relationships will get easier. Our values in our relationships will understand. As long as we're working on our own particular goals, then our relationship challenges will come into focus and we can handle that. And it's good to not focus too much on that. Of course, we do need to make time and space to look at our relationships, but we're nearing the end of the Venus retrograde cycle. We've had it since about, I want to say December 16th, somewhere in mid-December. And it's resolving as of this Saturday, January 29th. It'll still have the shadow period after that, but ultimately the time period of majorly focusing on our relationships, both romantic and platonic, and asking ourselves, okay, what relationships are serving me and what relationships aren't right now and maybe won't in the future, but certainly as of right here, right now, these are not serving me, or maybe what dynamics in my relationships are not serving me, what needs to be changed, etc. We're really moving out of that time period, but again, we still are in that time period. So I think in short, it's really good to stay focused on our goals. Everything else will kind of fall into place, as long as we're giving it time and attention that it does need and deserve. Besides that, we have a majorly spiritual year. I know that we talked about this before with transiting Jupiter being in Pisces, but to have Jupiter in Pisces as well as Neptune in Pisces is such an amazing experience that hasn't happened for maybe 250 years, something like that. So it's really cool that we all get to experience this in the first place. And I think, as well as all of this Aquarius energy, this year is a great opportunity to heal and empower ourselves and enlighten ourselves spiritually and emotionally, as well as focus on these long-term intellectual and kind of physical goals to grow into. So at the same time, it's really important, again, and this I think helps to make sure we don't get too caught up in the seriousness of Saturn and too caught up in the logic and the numbers and the quantity, and also holding ourselves to a high standard. All of that is important. All that pressure to succeed and to be excellent is very important in life, of course, and it's very important for this season, and we need to embrace that. But we also need to keep it in perspective with the spiritual larger picture. We want to be experiencing excellence on an emotional and spiritual level as well, which means we need to make time and energy for these things, whether it's meditation, that self-care, or exploring spirituality, exploring our subconscious. There's so much growth to experience when we align ourselves with our subconscious in any season, and especially over the course of this year with these particular transits. So that's really good to keep in mind as well. I think one last thing, and again, I'm looking at the transit chart and it's just amazing. We have so much Saturn energy. So setting your goals, reaching them, beautiful. One last thing I didn't quite cover with Mercury retrograde being Capricorn is, again, since Mercury is still retrograde until about, I think, February 3rd, now that it's in Capricorn, we're looking back, as I always say with Mercury retrograde, we're looking back to be able to move forward. So now that it's in Capricorn as well as Mars, Venus as well, but especially that Mars and that Mercury both being in Cap, it's really good to look at the past and look at, okay, what do I need to work on? What have I not gotten done to this point? And to not beat yourself up about it. Again, don't be too serious about it. But at the same time, look at, okay, what do I need to do from here? Or, even things that are going well. No matter where things are at, both of these energies, especially the Mercury retrograde and Cap, is really adept at just looking at where things are, taking stock, and really kind of consciously organizing, okay, what do I need to work on, and what is my schedule, what is my timeline, and moving forward with that. So I really I recommend doing that just as a kind of parallel. Hopefully this will inspire you in your own life with your own goals. But for me, the book, my goal is to have, I think, 40,000 words. Yeah, 40,000 words done by the middle of February, and from there it's gonna be really easy to finish it. So I'm a little behind schedule. I was working really diligently, but I did get a bit scattered over the last 6 weeks. But now with all this Capricorn energy, it's like, yeah, all right, let's edit. So it's getting there. I think that everybody to some extent is probably experiencing a very similar experience like I am, where they might feel behind in some way, or they have a lot of work to do, but that's okay. All we have to do is just move forward. We just have to keep doing the work and trust that we are moving forward. Again, as long as we are looking very clearly at where we're at and what we need to do, that's really important. I think the last thing is, by the way, so when those 40,000 words are completed, which is most of the book right there, then I'm going to be sending that to everyone who pre-ordered. And then, of course, when I finish the remaining about 30,000 words, which is going to be so much easier because that was like the last stuff I wrote for the book, then of course I'll send the entire thing. But I want to give everyone an update for those who pre-ordered the first book. And if you're interested in pre-ordering, in the description is the information to be able to pre-order the book. So I'm very excited. Getting there. Got a lot of work to do, but I've already gotten a lot of work done, so it's working out. But yeah, so one last thing. We have transiting moon in Scorpio. It's creating a T-square with opposite Uranus, it being opposite Uranus and Taurus, as well as square Saturn and also the Sun being in Aquarius. So yesterday, today, Wednesday, basically, is going to be the last major day of this transit. So, but Tuesday and Wednesday, even Monday, like late night Pacific time, there can be a lot of tension. There can be a sense of deep internal emotional reflection and introspection. But again, if you're showing up and you're doing the work in life, and you're growing and transforming and evolving, and you're letting go of fears, and you're seeking to move forward truly and to build whatever you need to build in your life, within yourself, in the external world, all of the above, then overall this is going to be a nice checkpoint. And if you find that you're not quite happy with where things are, then it's time to really key into that Mars and Capricorn transit and focus on, okay, what do I need to get done? And let's set the schedule. Let's plan. I love a good friend always says, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And that's a perfect Capricorn maxim. So if either way, set those plans, go for them. But especially if you feel like, I'm not where I want to be, then really be ambitious with the next 6 weeks. Focus on how you can move forward. Again, for the next week and a half, it's good to look at where you are right now and what needs to get resolved before you can move forward. And again, just as a parallel, it's I really want to get into doing the YouTube cover songs. I'm working on them, but I have so much other stuff I got to do. I got to finish this book. People are waiting on it. I have to do right by them, and I want to finish the book. It's bringing out the best in me as a writer, as a human being. It's the project that's on my list. So make sure that you're really prioritizing what needs to get done first. Even though there might be other things that you want to get done, just stay focused on that. That's really important. And I think the last thing is with Moon being in Scorpio for Wednesday, this is a great time to look at your emotions and to go deeper, to meditate especially. It's always a great time to meditate. I'm going to be doing a video in the near future for how to meditate, as well as on YouTube Live. I'm going to be doing some live meditations where we can all meditate together, answer questions about meditation, share insights that come to us through meditation or our experiences. I think that'll be really, really good. But for all of us, this is a really great time to look at ourselves, introspect, to observe our psychology, our psyches, because we have Moon in Scorpio, which allows us to go a lot deeper beneath the surface of our emotions, to go to our subconscious, as well as all this Aquarius energy, which is deeply focused on wanting to understand as much as we can logically about who we are as individuals, about other people as individuals as well. So I invite you to go deep into your emotions for Wednesday and to understand as much as you consciously can about them, and to understand that there's infinite amounts to understand about our subconscious. So it's really an endless journey, an endless exploration. But there's so much good to discover there. As always, I'm doing readings, info in the description to be able to book a reading with me. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. Peace.